Okay, so I've just gone through the entry I made. I literally just opened my charts up about 45 minutes ago, 50 minutes ago, just to prepare for tonight. Saw that trade and then just jumped in. So the stock's break even plus 3 or 4, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's just stay looking at the hourly charts for the moment, because I just want to show you what happened on the hourly charts. This one was terrible last week on the hourly charts. It was just, you can see from the daily, we're just completely trapped in a range. Whereas the Forex market was pretty good on the hourly charts. Let's take the euro, because I was anticipating a sell in the euro, and this just held up. We're something off the highs at the moment. Yeah, I mean on the hourly chart, where were we? Last Monday was the 27th. So last week on the 27th we were here. This was the Euro session last Monday. So we were messing around at, we're at 108 area, putting the hammer at 2 o'clock, and we spent the rest of the week just climbing until we got to Friday. And even on Friday we only sold quite late in the US session. The Euro session was still bullish. So that's why it's quite good to, if you want to get positioned sometimes for a weekly trade, for a trade that you might be able to sit in the week, Monday and Tuesday is a good time to think about how these markets are setting up and the sort of setups you might be looking at. Now, we've got non-farm payroll on Friday, and we start to get US job data on Wednesday. There's 3 lots of jobs data, and it kicks off on Wednesday, but the final non-farm payroll number is the one that everybody's watching. And to be honest, most non-farm payroll days, a lot of the moves happen in the run-up to that, and then you have to stand aside on Friday non-farm payroll, just to make sure you don't get caught up in a lot of chop on average. But so the markets get positioned in the early part of the week, predicting what they think is going to happen based on the price action. At the moment, the signs are good. So I might be able to stay in that Dow and get a move into the middle of the week. We'll see. But this is a clear reversal bar off of a fib level up here. So if the US job situation is going to be better, hold on a moment, I just need a sip of drink, hang on. That's better. That could potentially bring the buyers back into the dollar, which is exactly why we have already seen some weakness on this one. So we have support down here at 960, but in the meantime, if you were at your screens, that 440, 445 was a potential good short area up there. So if we end up like this overnight, then any pullbacks to something like 150 is a good place to get short, to see if we can drop back down to see if we can come back down through these levels. Obviously 970 is going to be at least a hesitation, if not a support level, but potentially to get the next leg down. On Elliott Wave, we are effectively only 2 legs into that at the moment, but we've got a reversal bar and there's a massive amount of resistance up there. I think at the very least we're going to see 950 this week, and it's just a question of what happens after 950. Let's pull the weekly charts up. just before we go off these 60-minute charts, I mean, as I said to you in once or twice in the recent past, in the recent days, you can trade stocks. You can sort of gauge your entry off of these 60-minute charts if once you've done your analysis on the daily, you're trying to refine your entry in a stock. Then I wouldn't have any problem with just drilling down to 1 hour, fibbing it, looking at the 55 and the 200, and then just picking a spot to look at my short or my long, depending on obviously which direction I'm going in. But as soon as you're in a trade, you've got to start behaving. You'll start managing that trade, assuming it is a swing trade for you. You've got to start managing that trade with swing trade levels. If you start it in a 60-minute chart and then keep your stop just too close, you could potentially just miss the move and just be wasting your time. But that's the weekly, and it's a fib level on the weekly chart. So there is, not only have we got this daily sell signal, but although that was a bullish weekly, it is telling us that that's a key fire line, and the market could be about to just rotate back down to this downtrend. So bottom line is, try a short if you're not already short. See if you can get anything between 150 and 170. You're going to need to stop at least above 225. You'll swing trade that and then see if that works. Obviously I'm long the Dow at the moment. Let's just have a look at the DAX. At the moment this is a pullback to a seller's bar, and all we've done on the weekly chart is move up into resistance at 660. So you can see the resistance on the daily chart. So how do I handle it? I would stay out of this and then wait and see where we are into tomorrow around this 680 level. And if we just, what I would ideally want, if this is going to short and continue to the downside, then I think we might head into 700, 750, and then put a reversal bar in and then roll over. But in the meantime, we are low RSI and the stochastics are turning. But if I'm going to short this, I would want to get short around about the 700, 750 mark. I think, again, intraday, I think that was a good long. I suspect if you look at the 60-minute chart, there must be a good 60-minute setup in there somewhere, otherwise it wouldn't have come up. So that's not a very clear 60-minute chart really, is it? And you can see we're very, very hesitant up here at the moment, coming into this little 200 EMA up there. Is that 200 EMA clear to you guys? Can you see that? I've deliberately kept it quite thin to try and keep the charts a little tidier. Can you see that 200 EMA? Okay, I'll move on. Yeah, okay, fine, okay. But you can see this low over here. All we've done is crashed into that low, and we have seen some weakness. So for this to be bullish, I think we have to come down to around about the 500 mark, put in a buy signal down here, and then close above 670 for this to be bullish. In the meantime, if we just hold up here and then run into these resistance levels, then I would get short tomorrow. But we are high up here, and this is the kind of level where the market would expect to sell it. We're just not, with the UK being away. and slightly less volume. So I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye on it. We might get a boomerang trade. In other words, this is a big sweep to the downside. We might recover this ground and then start the selling. So that will put it at 800, 850 on the selling, if the selling is going to start again. Difficult to call because it was on a huge move to the upside, a huge wave up there. So it could be that the bulls have really got their hands on this. There was a reversal signal, as I said in the weekend video, and they could just be getting ready to take it back up to these higher levels. So I wouldn't swing trade it, but I'm keeping an eye on how it handles this level. Let's see. Now, I was suggesting that the dollar could see some strength into this week. We would certainly, again, this has been a little tricky one to trade, this one. And you know, when markets get into box behavior like this, it's best to either leave it alone or buy a support level. If you think this is going to break out, and it's certainly held the support above the 55 EMA, so a pullback to 959.60 tomorrow could be the pullback that pushes this through. But it's not a great chart, and it could just be that non-farm payroll is going to be kind to this chart. I would certainly, at the very least, I would be interested in nibbling 959.60, and I would just put my stop. If you want to be ultra cautious, then just keep it under 890. If it is a box play and we sit above 120.70 and hold, perhaps dipping a little bit into 120.50, and we could just find ourselves pushing up to 120, 122, 125 ultimately. So I would nibble that. You can see all the support down there at 119 and just underneath it. So with that, let's keep to the dollar and then look at the US dollar CAD. Took a couple of slices of this last week. So seeing some weakness at the moment. Weakness in this one could potentially be good for my Dow trade. If we fib this, so we've pushed above the zone into some resistance and pulling back. So I would watch this area here, and if we come down to 120.40, 120.50 tomorrow and hold, I would buy that. I would definitely buy that and see if we can start to climb up to, I'm going to alarm that and then just see if we pick that up tomorrow. In fact, a little bit later on, I might even just do a deal ticket for it and just buy that level anyway. Because I think the level I'm talking about is the reversal entry down here. I think we'll at least retest 123. I think we'll at least want that mark. This is going to want to see 123, and then at that point, if it is going to rotate back to the downtrend, then I think that's the point where it will start its journey to the downside. Pound US. UK data. We've got construction data tomorrow at 9:30. Services on Wednesday, election on Thursday. I think we just need to be careful about this one with the UK election coming up. Markets don't like uncertainty, and of course the kind of election that we got here at the moment is very fragmented. No clear leaders, no obvious winners as far as the polls are concerned. As far as these charts are concerned, I would just watch out for this level here. It's had a very bullish move. You know, I'm looking for dollar strength. We're seeing dollar strength the back end of last week. It's clearly in a downtrend at the moment. So if we get to meet, if this is a bearish consolidation, we will pop up to around the 152 area or slightly lower, and then roll over. But I think the data tomorrow could be telling on that. Again, you can see we're very close to 150. That would a dip into 150 would be a slight overshoot of the 50% on the daily 55. So a nice clear selling the second half of last week, less clear action at the beginning of this week. And seasonally, this market does tend to dip this time of year. For the pound yen, very similar story. Major resistance up there. I think we could end up, the pound could end up just flapping around. That's a bit of a cop out, isn't it? And this pound yen has got, I think the most likely scenario is this pound yen wants to come and see 180 and 17980. Yeah, this is a key fib level. So any pullbacks tomorrow into 180 and any selling signals at 180 would be a great place to get short on this one. I would even, I mean, Kelvin, you're around for the Asian period. If you start to see a push up into these resistance levels, around about the 250 mark, and you get some sell signals up there, that's an opportunity for you to get short and stay short, because this is clearly, you know, a big sell signal up here. So any pullback into this sell zone, particularly the 250 mark, which was Thursday's low, could give you an opportunity to get short that one. Otherwise, we'll look for that in the Euro session tomorrow. Pound Aussie. We've got rates. Now we've got rates overnight UK time. Yeah, 2:30. Oh, it's trade balance. Right, just before the end of the Asian session. 5:30 UK time is rate decision, and we're looking for a rate reduction from 2.25% to 2% on the Aussie. If that happens, a day to 15 trade could be on the cards, where you just sit. If you get a push up, a big push up in this pound Aussie, and even the Euro Aussie, because I mean the Euro has done really well over the last week or two. If you get a big push up in this one, it's over 70 points or around the 70 points. Look to buy in. Actually, you normally fade it if it's plus around the 70 points mark. We'll see. But I mean, if we're holding this 250, 193, this is a key line in the sand for me. I would just trade it. The safest way to do it is trade it at a 60-minute chart. Wait until you get the close at 30 minutes after the data on the rate decision, and then see if that is going to give you a 60-minute chart, 60-minute setup. A good 60-minute setup to me is that was a good sell signal up there, that reversal bar. It worked for a couple of hours, gave you a move, and then you had buy signals. I'm essentially still bullish this one. I still think that year end, and let's look at the weekly chart. What's my yearly prediction on this one? Year end, I think we could even contest for 250 on this one. But the most obvious place is 224, 225. So if we are going to hold this level here, you can see how important this level is. This 274 is a fire line. We've had a good couple of weeks until last week, or we saw some hesitancy last week. So this is a key. We're seeing a key level here. Let's look at the Euro Aussie. Just coming up any minute now. We're going to move on to stocks in a few minutes, guys. Yeah, this. Okay, so we're struggling at this resistance level, daily 200 and the fib level, but if we're trapped between the 55 and the 200, so if we come down to something like 14,100, or of course the big 14,000, they could potentially be ready for the next leg up. Been quite range bound, this one. The pound Aussie has been much more liquid. This one's been more balanced. So I'd still prefer the pound Aussie. Although this would behave much better last week. So the weekly chart last week on that Euro Aussie was far better than this, far better. So if this is going to, if the Aussie is going to get weak, then you are better off looking at the Euro Aussie, and the best level there would be 150. But you just need to stand away while the data get. Yeah, it is a beast. It's definitely a beast. I would stand away. I mean, if this is going to run, there's going to be. We could be able to measure this and gauge a pullback on Wednesday, either later Tuesday or Wednesday. So if it is going to run the turn around and reverse, which at the moment doesn't look likely, then we will get time to get into this. So just sit tight. Let's have a quick look at Aussie CAD, because that's a big number here. A lot of bottoming tails. I mean, I tell you what, if they don't reduce rates, this is going to be a massive buy. If for some reason, and last rate decision, the Aussies was expected to reduce rates and they didn't. If they postpone it again, this Aussie CAD is going to be a massive buy signal. So watch this very carefully. This is a bottoming pattern here anyway. Okay, we've had a weak few days, but this will be this and the pound and Euro Aussie could potentially be massive movers this week, and I think so if we get a big push up, there will be opportunities to buy pullbacks. So as usual before big data, it's hung. If you want to get on this, then just watch for 60-minute setups after 30 minutes after the data comes out. Right. quick check of my Dow before. So I'm 31, 32 points up on the Dow. We're just sitting around the 100 mark. With at the moment the dips are getting bought at the moment. So look at the Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq has been a massive leader. That's okay. Certainly you can see how important this level is on the Nasdaq. 44.85, 45 is major on the Nasdaq. Right, okay, let's look at some stocks. Quick look at Kindred, and I'm actually stopped out of this. It had a week, had some selling last week, but it got picked up at the lows, and so I'm out of this for a small loss. And I had 2 days of, I had 1 day where I was pretty much break even, 2 days with profits. It didn't even come and test the 55. It was so strong, it didn't even come and test the 55. One way I could have handled this, and I didn't, was once we got the selling down to 23, I could have dropped my stop down to 23.63, which would have given me a small profit. Because at that stage, there's nothing wrong with just going one bar back, as long as you give it a certain degree of wiggle room. So the more wiggle room you got, the better chance you have of getting a bigger run. But when you've got something that's got that much support under there, there's no harm at all in trying to just rein in your stop, just in case that happens. So I'll just stand aside and leave that one. Let's have a look at ISRG. This is a very interesting one. This could be a fantastic opportunity to get in this. So yeah, that's a lot of selling, and that has been behaving quite very gappy behaviour up here. No, I take that back. I wouldn't steer clear of that one. This was a bit of a darling of the stock market not so long ago, and it's just become a bit too erratic. You can see back here, 09, 2010, and even this early period here, this was behaving quite nicely, but one to watch. But if you do trade it, just be careful. Right, and then our UK stuff. There's not much point looking at the UK because the UK was closed today. But AK Steel, this was quite a good performer not so long ago. That's a pretty poor weekly chart. We're going to have to steer clear of that. Okay, I'll take that back. It's in recent weeks, and particularly this year, it's not performed that well. Okay, so I'll steer clear of that. Let's just do a scan now. We'll look at a couple of bellwethers just to get a feel for what the market wants to do, and then we'll look at the sector I'm interested in. Facebook is very weak. but I'm still looking to see if we can how it handles that 80 level. Goldman Sachs, a big bellwether stock, and that's had a good day. Baidu, okay, yeah, we'll look at Baidu. That had good results out last week, I think. This is one of these bigger favorite stocks are good ones to buy. See, back here in January, this was a good price down here on 7,350. Struggled up here at 190, 193. But the stopping bar down here at 185. Done well. You have to be quite patient. That was early March, so you've got to spend a good 2-3 months in that one. But just watch these bellwethers, because if you want more stable, steady stocks that will generate potentially nice steady profits for you, then these are like, some of these stocks are like trading the pound US dollar or the US dollar CAD. They're because they're so liquid and so popular, they do move in nice measured, generally steady moves. So again, early part of the year, this one picked up. This is Citigroup. And last week, when the indices were pretty sloppy, this was getting bought at 52.40. So these bellwethers are, this is Bank of America, and then we'll look at Baidu. Bank of America, look at that. That's a nice stock. This is a buy now. This is a buy. That's even though it's relatively high, I would wait. I would bid on something like 16.12 with a stop under 15.90 and see if you can get entry in that, because that's a very strong move. Look at the chart pattern. There's a powerful chart pattern there, in that we had all this support happening under here, all this resistance up here. This is a big box, and the box pattern is finished here. There's the massive box, and to me, this is confirmation that the box pattern is potentially coming to a close, which could see this close above 18. So I think Bank of America is a good buy. I like the weekly, obviously. Baidu. Okay. Last I looked, obviously I hadn't checked on this for a few days. But look at that, it's failed at 50%. Wow, that's actually quite a nasty chart now. I'm not liking what I'm seeing there, because you've got this sort of expansive horn pattern. It ran up and then did that. I mean, that's not the kind of pattern I'm interested in. And that could go either way. It's unclean. That could really go either way. There's a similar thing up here. I don't like it. Just don't like it. I would steer clear of it. I think it's overall bearish. I mean, look at that bearish bar last week. Fibs. I tell you what, if that drops down to 188, and holds, I would be interested. I would certainly nibble at that. Chinese data tonight, okay. It was looking good. I did like it when it popped above the trend line in the middle of last week. But the second half of last week got very that just turned. But I would definitely be. In fact, I will even put an alarm on there and just sit there with an alarm at 189.50. And if that means I don't touch it till summer, that's fine. I think it's a good. I think overall it's potentially a good stock, but not here and not yet. Let's look at FedEx, because these transports and communication stocks are key indicators as to where the market could go. So it's good just to sit here and look at some bellwethers before we look at what's going on. This could be a potential short pattern. So at the very least, we're going to move around in that apex. Whichever way that one comes out of that apex could be. And this is a nice flagpole here. If this is a bullish flag or pennant, then we will hold here, close above 173.50, and then potentially push up. But in the meantime, it's selling at the highs. Let's face it, this is not a great time of the year to be buying these stocks. Now, let's be clear about this. At the moment, this is selling May and go away. So we are seeing profit taking. Let's have a look at Apple. Look at the golden apple. See, it's struggling. Yeah, it's seeing profit taking. That's not a great weekly chart. It's really struggling. Unless we start closing above at least 132, at least. Again, that would be great down here. That's a buy down there. So if we get a weak summer, or we just see a dip into summer, that's a great buy. Okay, let's look at some tech stocks. BFM. Rackspace has had a good period. See, a lot of these stocks are bouncing. Bear in mind, it's just a very early part of the week. It's Monday, in fact. Wow, that one's had a huge move. So this is a very bullish sector. I think this sector is very bullish. Banks is definitely one to look at. Bank of America was very impressive. But I would keep an eye on the tech stocks. Right, let's do a scan on tech stocks. And then we'll see where we are. Okay. Finviz. Screener. Average volume over 1 mil. Price above $5. So you can do this. And Kelvin, if you're looking at Aussie stocks, this website doesn't cover. Oh, yes, it does. I wonder how many stocks it's got in Australia. So if you got access to, let's just assume for the moment that you've got access to US stocks. Sector, tech, Industry, any, I think. Healthcare information services, that might be interesting. We'll stick at any for the moment. Right, now I want to go to technical. I want to see if there's anything. We'll do a simple stock. Is there anything just crossing above the 50-day simple move? This is a simple day moving average. Now I'm going to go to the charts button, and that has pulled up some interesting stocks. Right, I'm going to look at ADP. I will take a look at that one, AFFX. ATVI, CERN, that's a good stock. MU, NTAP, and WDC. Okay. Right, I've just made note of some of those stocks that scan's pulled up. Let's have a look at ADP. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I would not. I'd give it another day and at least get this Chinese data out of the way. We're at resistance. I'd wait a couple of days and see if we've got a pullback into this area here. Not a great stock, is it? Once we ran up, it sold off. And I'll keep it on the watch list. If we come back into 85.40 and hold, I will be interested. Next one. Any stocks you're interested in, let me know, and we'll take a look at it. AFFX. That's too high. I wouldn't want to buy something that's that high. It's looking it's a bit very ragged as well. ATVI. Ooh. So although it had all this selling over here, it has had 1, 2, 3 legs, 4 legs up, and now on a recovery after this selling, we've had 1, 2 legs up. If I were to buy this, I'd wait until that pullback. But again, it may just be we sit on some of these for a while and for a few weeks. We don't trade them for a few weeks, or even a month or two, and then see if they settle back to give us an opportunity to come in later on. Lloyds Bank is a very similar story. We talked about Lloyds Bank last week, where it's a nice sort of solid moving stock, gapped up away from us, but with the potential to drift lower over the summer. Wow, this is. I think that's a share split. That's a share split. I have to double check, but I think these are share splits. I can tell because they are very even numbers when they. Yeah. I think we're just too late with this one. I think my stock at the moment is Bank of America and not these techs at the moment. I can't find a good tech one. I think what I will, if I don't turn anything up on this scan, I think what I will do is scan for 50 EMAs, just to continue to refine the scan. Might look at some low RSI scans and see if I can pick up some. What I'm looking for is clean charts, very clean charts. You can see I've looked at this one before. Bed and Bath, yeah, okay. I like the way this is adhering to the fib levels. It could roll over. I want to see much more evidence in this one before I jumped into this one. I'd want to see it close above 29.75. Before I got involved in that one. We'll come back to the Bed Bath in a minute. Just because I'm nearly finished this one. These last two are good stocks. Nope, I take that back. That's too erratic. And last, WDC, Western Digital. The weekly's clean. Forget the daily for the moment. The weekly's clean. Fairly steady stock. Fairly steady eddy. I think this was a good pullback. I think 95.70 was a potential good pullback after this move up here. Again, I just want more evidence on that. Right, let's have a look at Bed Bath and Beyond. I would be interested in 97.75. I'm just reticent to engage this market. A, this so early in the week, and B, just wary about the sort of period we're in. In other words, just coming out of the results season, going into the Northern Hemisphere summer. Yeah, this is a very interesting stock. Sitting on, had all this buying from middle of last year. Notice how this got bought in June of this year. This is what I'm looking for. A lot of stocks we've been scanning. I'm looking for dips into the quiet summer. And then, so when the volume comes out of the market, as people are away from their desks, and the market dips, I'm looking. A lot of these stocks that I've just looked at this is the kind of behaviour that I want to see. So here we are, coming out of April into May, seeing some profit taking, having seen this move into 79.60. So I think this could easily dip to 65, at which point I'd want to buy. I mean, if we start to close above 73, we got to close above 73 this week, then, but even then, sorry, the risk reward ratio is poor. That's the problem with this one. Because the resistance is so close, it doesn't give us much scope for a good R&R level. And as soon as we got back into this resistance, the sell level up here, you can see the bears or the bulls took profits and the bears started to get hold of it. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. I wouldn't buy this, but I would be tempted if it behaves itself. Daily. I've seen better. I've seen better. Let me go through some of my. Have a quick look at what's happening. So I'm down a little bit off the highs. So I have seen highs of 107. I'm 17 points off the highs on this one, on the Dow. So we'll see what happens. Let me just delve into. Let's have a look at the oil stocks. Before we do that, let's look at what oil's done. This is going to be the last sector we'll look at today, but 58.94. So we've seen a little bit of sideways action today, a little bit of weakness. Let's zip through these oil stocks. This one had a great period in the very early part of the year. Down here in January. So we had highs of 64.28. So see the weekly is looking like it's too tired. Weekly looks as if it needs to come lower. What it may mean is, particularly if the market starts selling at these highs, we need to look at shorts again. I say again, I mean that's what I've been looking for the last couple of weeks anyway. Rig. Again, I'd be interested in 1685, not up here. Schlumberger. Seen a lot of selling today. Okay. PTEN. Yeah. I think my trading strategy here for this particular week is not on the mark. I think I need to go away and potentially look for some sell signals and look for something that looks as if it's going to see a lot of profit taking at the very least, if not some serious selling. Okay, so the only thing I'm liking at the moment is if I look at the other, what I might do is look at the banking sector. The UK and the US banking sector. Oh, this is a good. Okay, this has moved quite well. Right, I'm gonna leave it there because it's a bank holiday here in the UK. I've been talking for an hour, and I think my scanning is a little off the mark. I keep talking about liking stocks but leaving them for a few weeks. So it makes me think that if this market isn't going to hold the highs, and at the moment the Dow is looking a little bit fragile at the highs, I just need to do some wider, deeper searches. I'm going to keep an eye on where these bellwethers go today and tomorrow. Look to get in at Bank of America tomorrow if it holds up. And take a position in Bank of America. In the meantime, keep looking at that banking sector, and I think I'm just going to do an RSI stock for maybe some cheaper stocks around about the $30-40 mark that look as if they've got a nice bottoming pattern or a nice buying pattern, and see if we can at least get a few weeks move out of a nice cheaper stock. But at the moment, from the sort of time I spent, I'm not coming across much apart from that Bank of America stock. Okay, so what I suggest you do is, you've got to have at least a couple of scanning tools. I've got about 3 or 4, but based on websites and platforms and so on. If you haven't got one, you need to think about what you're going to do. See if you like FinViz. Try the settings on FinViz. Like I said, I'm going to look at stocks in $30-40 mark with low RSI. Let's gather a shortlist, and then when we next reconvene, we'll combine our shortlists and see if we can pick some good stocks. In the meantime, obviously I will be scanning as well and looking to see what I can pick up. Any questions before we close up? So just looking to see if we're going to get dollar strength tomorrow into the middle of the week. Need to get this Aussie data out of the way and see what the pound may or may not want to do. I mean, I think you've got to be careful about the pound because of the election, but if this pound is going to hold up and hold these levels that we're looking at here, then we'll check that out after the data tomorrow, because any nice buy signals in 60 minutes may enable us to pick up a position in the pound pairs tomorrow and trade them up. In the meantime, that dollar, the euro US is looking vulnerable, whereas the US dollar yen and the pound CAD is looking viable. Alright, so thanks a lot, guys. I will keep scanning. Let's reconvene tomorrow in the Euro session and see you then. Thanks for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day or your evening. Thanks, guys.